The angels stopped speaking when your name was mentioned. What they saw will shock you. You were never supposed to know this. There is a reason you're here right now. This message was not delayed. It was not lost in transit, and it is not random. This message is divine precision. Something hath been stirring in the unseen. The spiritual currents have shifted, and heaven has turned its gaze. Your name has risen in the halls of the eternal, not in chaos, not in crisis, but in consequence. There was a moment recently when the angels paused mid-sentence. Their wings trembled, their voices stilled, and your name hum in the atmosphere like a sacred flame. A divine stillness fell over heaven's court because what was seen, what was shown, was not ordinary. It was a revelation wrapped in flesh, and that revelation was you. This is not myth. This is not metaphor. This is message. What was shown to the angels about you was so potent, so profound, that even their divine tongues could not continue. There was awe. There was reverence. But more than that, there was revelation. The kind not meant to be disclosed until the appointed hour. And I tell you this now, that hour has come. The veil is lifting. You are walking into what you were never supposed to know too early. The reason? Because you were always meant to remember it, not just discover it. Archangel Michael speaks now, not in riddles, not in symbols, but in urgency. You are on the verge of unlocking a hidden inheritance, one that's been suppressed by spiritual blindfolds and earthly manipulation. What they saw was not danger. It was destiny. It was not disaster. It was divinity. The moment your name was spoken, there was a divine record that opened. Pages turned that had not turned in years. And what was read aloud about your spirit, your gifts, your calling, your breakthrough, it shocked them not because it was evil, but because it was massive. Massive enough to shift timelines. Massive enough to disturb demons. Massive enough to silence even the angelic hosts. You were never supposed to know this, not yet. But your spiritual maturity has forced the scrolls open. Your growth has become your key. And now, the truth is spilling forward like sacred oil over your life. This message is for you. It is not coincidence. It is convergence. Spiritually, you are standing at a door that only opens from the inside. It will not budge with logic. It will not respond to fear. It only moves when the soul says yes. And the moment you hear these words and say yes to this message, yes to your truth, yes to your next level, yes to your protection, the heavens will shift again. I, Archangel Michael, am assigned to this moment. I carry the sword of divine clarity, and I will cut away the last layers of illusion if you are willing to see. The silence of the angels was not rejection, it was reverence. And now, they are speaking again. About you. Around you. For you. And now, we begin. This is your unveiling. Archangel Michael says, heaven paused the moment your name was spoken. There is something pressing in the spirit. The air around you has thickened, not with danger, but with divine density. It's as if heaven is holding its breath, and earth is echoing your name in frequencies you cannot yet hear. You may have felt it, an unexplained silence, a stillness in conversations, a hesitance in others that you couldn't quite place. That stillness wasn't rejection. It was reverence. There was a moment, just recently, when your name moved through a spiritual channel, and every celestial being that heard it stopped. Their wings drew inward, their eyes widened, and their mouths fell silent. Why? Because your name triggered the opening of something ancient, something sacred, something sealed. one reading this now, have reached a moment that few ever encounter. This isn't just a turning point. It's a divine intersection. I, Archangel Michael, come forth now with clarity because your spirit is prepared to receive what was once hidden. There's urgency in this hour. The next 24 hours are a spiritual test disguised as a natural occurrence. Someone may say something that sounds like coincidence, but it's not. It's confirmation. A divine sign will be sent to you within this window. Watch for it. It will seem subtle, almost dismissible, but it will stir something in your belly that no logic can explain. That's how you'll know. You're being marked for awareness, and heaven is requesting your attention. You must understand, not every silence is empty. Sometimes silence is sacred. Sometimes silence is signal. The angels didn't stop speaking because they didn't care. They stopped speaking because what they saw in your scroll stunned them into holy awe. You were never supposed to walk blindly through life, never knowing what was written over you in golden ink. But you were also never meant to awaken too soon, to activate without protection, to rise without the right realm of revelation. That's why this timing is not accidental. It's orchestrated. There's divine choreography happening now, and you are the lead in this movement. So hear me clearly. You are not forgotten. You are not average. You are not the mistake others made you out to be. You are the mystery heaven decided to finally reveal. And now, with divine timing, spiritual authority, and holy urgency, I activate the awareness within you. This is the hour. This is the moment. And this is the message you were never supposed to hear until now. Type "I receive this message" in the comments if you know this was for you. Blessing code 777 is now moving through your atmosphere. A conversation was happening in heaven and then silence. Someone down here noticed the change too. They've been watching you ever since. What the angels saw, and what this person suspects, has stirred a silent war around your name. You must understand, child of light, that not all battles are loud. Not all betrayals wear obvious masks. There are moments in your life when you sense something off. You walk into a room and suddenly feel coldness you can't explain. You say a name, and the conversation shifts. You show up, and someone you thought was aligned with you withdraws. Their tone changes. Their words dry up. Their smile fades. And though no one says it outright, the energy tells you everything. You've been feeling it, haven't you? That mysterious disruption. That unspoken shift. That eerie silence that doesn't feel empty, but feels full. Full of questions. Full of speculation. Full of tension. You've been trying to ignore it, but your soul knows. This is not your imagination. This is not paranoia. This is prophecy unfolding. When the angels stopped speaking after your name was mentioned, that silence echoed down into the people around you. It trickled into atmospheres, into conversations, into relationships that are now subtly cracking under pressure. Someone has noticed something about you. They can't explain it, but they feel it. Something about your presence disrupts them. Not because you've done anything wrong, but because your spirit carries a frequency they cannot tolerate. Your elevation is agitating their comfort. Your glow is revealing their shadows. And now, they're watching. From a distance. From fake smiles. From hidden motives. I, Archangel Michael, am not here to bring you fear. I am here to bring you truth. Someone in your circle, or just beyond it, has started asking questions about you that they never dared ask before. Not to honor you, but to expose you. They believe something is shifting, and they are right. But they do not realize the source of your power. They do not understand the depth of your calling. They've seen a glimpse of your divine scroll, but only a fragment. And that fragment has stirred fear in their heart. Because when people sense greatness but don't understand it, they often respond with suspicion, not support. You've been misread. Your silence has been mistaken for weakness. Your boundaries have been labeled as coldness. Your healing hath been misinterpreted as arrogance. But I tell you now, their perception is not your problem. You are not here to be understood. You are here to be obeyed, to the call, to the purpose, to the mission that heaven whispered into your spirit before time began. This mysterious destruction around your name is not punishment. It is preparation. The divine realms have marked your shift, and now Earth is catching up. But with that shift comes resistance. And the first sign of that resistance is emotional turbulence, misunderstandings, gossips, a sense of betrayal where there once was trust. Someone is whispering about you, behind closed doors, in subtle tones, with selective words. They think you don't notice. They think you don't feel the weight of it. But your soul has already picked it up. Your spirit has already begun discerning the false from the true. Don't second-guess that instinct. Don't dismiss that inner nudge. You're not being dramatic, you're being prophetic. You're not being oversensitive. You're being spiritually alert. When the angels went quiet, it created a vacuum. And in that vacuum, darkness attempted to speak. But it won't last. Because the light you carry now is beginning to burn through the fog. Here's the truth. Someone thought they knew you. But they only knew the version of you that survived. They never met the version that's about to emerge. The one that heaven just revealed. The one that the angels paused to witness. The one that was never supposed to awaken this early, and yet, here you are. Awakened. Chosen. Rising. That's what's shaking them. That's what's confusing them. That's what's whispering in their ears late at night, that you are not who they thought you were. They are sensing something, but they have no language for it. They are seeing shadows move around you, but they cannot see the light inside of you. They are witnessing the atmosphere bend in your presence, and it terrifies them. You are no longer ordinary. You never were. But now, it's becoming visible. And when the invisible becomes visible, those who operate in shadows begin to scatter. Let them whisper. Let them wonder. You are not required to explain a transformation they were never invited to witness. Type "I am chosen" in the comments if this confirms your spirit. Blessing code 999 is now surrounding you. This isn't just about gossip. This isn't just about misunderstandings. This isn't just about who's talking behind your back. This is spiritual warfare disguised as personal conflict. What the angels saw when your name was spoken was not just your future. It was your frequency. And your frequency disrupts darkness. Understand this. When the angels stopped speaking, it wasn't because of what they saw. It was because of who they saw. They saw the full truth of you. The you that has battled in silence. The you that has endured pain behind polite smiles. The you that has walked through storms with a bowed head and a clenched heart. And most importantly, they saw the version of you that cannot be manipulated by darkness anymore. That version of you shook heaven. It stirred a silence in the angelic realm, not because it caused fear, but because it demanded reverence. And what followed in the spiritual dimension was not a pause. It was a positioning. You are not in a season of confusion. You are in a spiritual collision. You are not being attacked just because people are petty. You are being tested because darkness is panicking. The conflicts you're facing are not simply relational. They are reactions to your calling. Shadows are reacting to your light. And that's not a metaphor, it's a reality. I, Archangel Michael, speak this with full authority. You have become too powerful to remain hidden. Your prayers have become weapons. Your silence has become fire. Your surrender has become strategy. And now, spiritual forces that once ignored you are being forced to acknowledge you. Not because you fought for attention, but because heaven spotlighted your assignment. You've probably wondered, why now? Why are things surfacing all at once? Why are people turning cold? Why are old wounds being reopened? Because darkness always tries to disrupt destiny in disguise. But here's what they didn't realize. Your destiny isn't just protected, it's prophesied. You don't walk alone. You are not navigating this terrain by yourself. You have angels assigned to your journey, and I, Michael, have stepped into the field not with observation, but with intervention. The silence that fell in heaven is now being answered by action. Strategic action. Heavenly interference. Divine protection. You are not exposed, you are equipped. And the conflict around you right now, it is not personal, it is spiritual. It is not about them not liking you. It is about spiritual forces not recognizing their access anymore. What you're feeling is not rejection. It is realignment. What you're experiencing is not sabotage. It is separation. You are not losing people. You are losing spiritual liability. You are not breaking down. You are breaking free. The angels didn't stop speaking to create a void. They stopped speaking because the next instruction wasn't for them, it was for you. The spiritual tension you feel is your announcement in the spirit world. It is the sound of your spirit disrupting patterns that have controlled your bloodline for generations. This is not just about today's trial. This is about ancestral assignments coming to an end. What you are facing now is proof that you are the interruption. You are the reversal. You are the chosen one in your family, in your lineage, in your spiritual assignment. The angels paused because they were watching prophecy wake up inside of you. Do not minimize this conflict, and do not fear it either, because heaven has already declared the outcome. This isn't a battle for survival. It is a path to awakening. You were never supposed to know this early, but the veil tore open the moment you surrendered. The divine timing accelerated because your obedience did. And now the enemy can't touch you. They can talk. They can whisper. They can speculate. But they cannot stop you. Because what God has sealed, no demon can cancel. What heaven has blessed, no human can bury. And what the angels paused to witness, they now rise to protect. So do not curse the chaos. It's proof of your calling. Do not fear the friction. It is friction that lights the flame. And you, beloved, are the flame, the fire, the force. You are the evidence that light still breaks through darkness. You are the walking prophecy, the unfolding mystery. And what they tried to break is now the very thing heaven uses to build the next hero. Type IT is not personal. IT is spiritual in the comments if this resonates with your spirit. Lesson code 444 is now covering your path. The angels didn't just pause when your name was spoken. They were preparing you. Because what's coming next will not be subtle. It will not be soft. And it will not be quiet. Someone is planning something. The darkness is stirring. But so is your defense. The next 3 hours will determine everything. There is a disturbance in the spirit. A shift. A flicker of energy that can no longer be ignored. I, Archangel Michael, have been summoned not just to deliver this message, but to place a sword at your gates. Because there is movement happening behind the scenes of your life. Someone is preparing to challenge what they do not understand. A person you once trusted is rehearsing a message, crafting a narrative, getting ready to twist truth into confusion. It may come as a call, a sudden message, an invitation that seems innocent but is dipped in deception. Their words will not match their energy. Their smile will not match their spirit. You must be alert. They are watching you more closely now. Not to celebrate, but to sabotage. The whispers are growing louder. A version of your story is circulating, and your name is being reshaped in the mouths of the unworthy. They are stirring the pot, hoping to pull you into emotional warfare. They are seeking a response, not because they want the truth, but because they need fuel. They are feeding off attention. They are desperate to pull you back into the place you've already escaped. But I have come to say, do not respond. The trap is psychological. The warfare is emotional. And the weapon they are forming is confusion. They want you to explain yourself. They want you to shrink. They want you to doubt what heaven has already confirmed. But hear this, your silence is more powerful than their slander. The next few hours are critical. There will be a test, a trigger, a temptation, and it will feel urgent. It will feel personal. But it is not about them, it is about your alignment. If you react in the flesh, you delay what's about to unfold in the spirit. Someone is planning a confrontation, not openly but subtly. It may come wrapped in concern. It may be disguised as curiosity, but their true intention is to see if you still bleed, to see if they can still wound you with words, to see if your growth is real or just performance. And when they approach, their energy will betray them. You will feel it. You will know. This is why the angels pause, because what they saw wasn't just your breakthrough. They saw the attack that would try to block it. They saw the mouths that would rise. They saw the schemes that would slither toward you under the cover of civility. And they needed you to know, you are not defenseless. Heaven is not asking you to fight with fire. Heaven is asking you to stay aligned. Because in this battle, obedience is the weapon. Self-control is the sword. Wisdom is the shield. And silence is the armor. When they try to provoke, you must stay poised. When they attempt to twist your truth, you must stay rooted. You are not here to win their approval. You are here to pass the test. And this test is not about who's right. It's about who remains aligned. The next 3 hours are a spiritual pressure point. Choose peace. Choose posture. Choose presence. The warning is not to scare you. It is to prepare you. You are not under attack because you are weak. You are under pressure because you are next. The enemy doesn't go after the forgotten. The enemy goes after the anointed. And you, beloved, are glowing. You are glowing so brightly in the spirit that heaven had to pause and reposition your protection. That's how powerful your presence has become. That's why they are reacting. That's why they are projecting. That's why the tension is thick. Because what's inside you is disrupting what's around you. You are not the same. And they can feel it. So, when the message comes, don't reply in fear. When the voice rises, don't lower yours. When the test appears, recognize it for what it is. This is your opportunity to show the heavens that you are no longer governed by insecurity, no longer manipulated by confusion, no longer controlled by chaos. You are grounded now. You are guarded now. You are grown now. What once triggered you will now testify for you. Your silence will say everything. Your peace will confuse them. Your stillness will crush their plans. And when the enemy realizes you didn't take the bait, the attack will fold in on itself. You don't need to defend what God has declared. You don't need to chase down lies when you're walking in light. You are covered. You are watched. And I, Archangel Michael, stand before and behind you. I will not react. I will remain rooted. In the comments to declare your protection. Blessing code 333 is now shielding your destiny. When the angel stopped speaking at the mention of your name, it wasn't just silence. It was strategy. It was spiritual shielding. It was heaven pulling you back behind the veil for a moment of divine insulation. What they saw required a new level of protection around you. And now, I am sent to deliver it. I, Archangel Michael, speak this to your spirit with authority. You are not to fight this battle in the flesh. You are not to run into rooms where your name is being dragged. You are not to explain yourself to those who have already chosen to misunderstand you. This is not your assignment. This is not your war. You are not being asked to confront the slander. You are being called to command the silence. And let me make something very clear. Your silence is not weakness. It is warfare. It is the sound of someone who understands they are covered. It is the posture of someone who knows who fights for them. What the angels saw about you, what silenced their voices, was a revelation so mighty, it required a recalibration of your protection. Heaven saw your trajectory. They saw your transformation. They saw your name aligned with nations, your presence attached to purpose, your voice echoing in realms your feet haven't yet walked into. And because of what they saw, they paused not just to witness but to reinforce. They restructured your covering. They positioned new reinforcements. They created boundaries even you didn't know you needed. That is why certain people are falling away. That is why certain doors are closing. That is why certain conversations feel awkward and empty now. You're being moved into a safer atmosphere. You're being hidden in plain sight. In this hour, the instruction is clear. Stay grounded. Stay grounded in truth. Stay grounded in peace. Stay grounded in identity. Don't run after rumors. Don't chase explanations. Don't get pulled into the drama of the distracted. That is not your portion. You are rising into visibility, and with it comes volatility. But you do not need to respond to every vibration. You are not called to defend the details of your story to people who only want to twist it. Let heaven do the heavy lifting. Let the divine advocate on your behalf. Your stillness will say what your words could never articulate. Your energy will tell the truth for you. You must also hear this. Do not explain your elevation. You owe no one a map of your healing. You owe no one a justification for your growth. The version of you they knew is gone. That version was the seed. This version is the bloom. And not everyone deserves to walk in your garden. Some were only meant to witness your planting season, not your harvest. So when they come asking questions, when they come throwing shade, when they come pushing emotional buttons, remember this. You are protected not because you're hiding, but because heaven is highlighting you. You've been sealed. And what's sealed by God can't be sabotaged by man. This is where you let stillness become your shield. When accusations rise, go quiet. When tempers flare, go inward. When pressure mounts, go higher. This is how the chosen ones move. They are not reactive. They are radiant. And you, beloved, are now blowing in dimensions your enemies cannot access. That's why they're angry. That's why they're confused. That's why they're lashing out. But don't give them fuel. Don't give them evidence. Don't give them access. Protect your peace. Guard your space. Cleanse your environment. If something feels off-trusted, if someone's energy is strange, distance yourself. If a conversation feels heavy, walk away. These are not acts of fear. They are acts of wisdom. You are in a sacred season. You've crossed into a higher vibration, and not everyone can come with you. Don't mourn the exit of people who were never meant to stay beyond your preparation phase. This is your protection protocol. This is your spiritual armor. This is how you secure the elevation that's already begun. And above all, stay aligned with the truth of who you are, the truth of what heaven whispered to you in the silence, the truth of what the angels saw when they stopped everything and turned toward your spirit. That moment wasn't the end of the conversation. It was the beginning of your commissioning. They paused because they recognized the arrival of divine potential. And now, that potential is becoming power. That silence is becoming strength. And that strength is becoming your supernatural shield. Type "I am covered and I am grounded" in the comments to activate your divine armor. Blessing code 1212 is now surrounding you with invisible protection. The angels didn't stop speaking because they feared what they saw. They stopped speaking because they honored it, because they revered it, because what was shown was the future version of you, the ascended, awakened, anointed version they had long been waiting to witness. You are not who they thought you were, and you are never going back to who you used to be. And now, hear this clearly. You are rising, not metaphorically, not emotionally, but spiritually, vibrationally, positionally. You are ascending in the spirit realm in a way that is undeniable to heaven and unavoidable to the forces that once surrounded you. I, Archangel Michael, tell you with full heavenly authority, your name has shifted realms. It no longer dwells in the place of delay. It no longer echoes in the valley of waiting. Your name now sits in the wind of movement, of power, of divine motion. And that motion has begun to reveal the real you, the version that was hidden, the version that was protected, the version that could not be released until now. What they thought was your breaking point was your birthing point. What they thought was your silence was your sacred surrender. What they thought was the end was actually the veil tearing open for your emergence. You have shed skins that no longer served you. You have laid down identities that were forced upon you. You have broken contracts, spiritual, emotional, ancestral, that were trying to bind you to smallness. And now, what they see when they look at you is not just a person. It is a presence. You have become a walking altar, a living prophecy, a carrier of divine light. They cannot figure out what changed, but something has. You speak differently. You move differently. You hear more clearly. You sense more deeply. And most of all, you no longer shrink to fit their comfort. You are no longer trying to be digestible. You are no longer trying to be liked. You have stopped negotiating with spaces that never honored your soul in the first place. And that, beloved, is power. That is spiritual liberation. That is divine alignment. This is not arrogance. This is authority. This is not pride. This is prophetic posture. This is what happens when someone survives storms meant to destroy them and walks out glowing, not bitter. You are not bitter. You are burning. And that flame is not one of anger. It is one of anointing. You have passed through fire, and you didn't just survive. You transformed. You became something new. Something holy. Something heaven had to pause and acknowledge. Your rise is a threat to the realm of limitation. Your emergence is a disruption to the systems of stagnation. They thought they could keep you boxed in. But what they did realize is you were never meant to fit. You were meant to break the box. You were meant to expand the space. You were meant to redefine what elevation looks like. And now, you are doing just that. Boldly, quietly, consistently, unapologetically. You are no longer who they thought you were, and that's what terrifies them. You are no longer operating from wounds. You are operating from wisdom. You are no longer trying to be chosen. You've realized you were chosen before time began. And now you move differently. And now you speak with intention. Now you pause when you sense misalignment. Now you elevate without explanation. The storm that tried to destroy you only revealed your root system. You didn't just endure, you evolved. You didn't just hold on. You hardened in holy resilience. The ashes they tried to bury you under have now become the soil from which your new strength grows. You are the evidence of divine strategy. You are the proof that grace is greater than gossip. You are the testimony that silence doesn't mean surrender. It means strategy. This is your shift. This is your emergence. This is your unapologetic glow. And if they can't handle it, let them fall away. You no longer owe your presence to those who couldn't hold your process. You no longer need to shrink so they feel tall. Let them whisper. Let them wonder. You are not the same. You never were. And now, the world will finally see what heaven always knew. Type "I have risen from the ashes" in the comments if this is your moment. Blessing code 888 now rests upon your elevation. The angels stopped speaking when your name was mentioned, not because your story was finished, but because the transformation had begun. What they saw was the unlocking of divine timing, the unraveling of spiritual chains, and the birth of your next era. And now, what was once hidden is being released, and what was sealed is now unfolding in plain sight. A veil is lifting. The shift is final. The silence has served its purpose. And now, your transformation is no longer subtle. It is prophetic. I, Archangel Michael, stand here as a witness and a warrior on your behalf. What was once delayed is now in motion. What was once uncertain is now confirmed. What you felt but could not articulate is now speaking loudly through your life. You are the living fulfillment of a truth that heaven knew long before you were even aware of it. And now, the alignment you've prayed for, the clarity you've cried for, the breakthrough you were never supposed to know this soon. It's here. It's arriving. It's active. Everything you've endured up until now was preparation for this unveiling. The betrayal, the isolation, the misunderstanding, the warfare, none of it was random. None of it was wasted. It was the spiritual weightlifting that prepared your soul for this elevation. You didn't lose, it was removed. You didn't fail, you were redirected. You didn't break, you became unbreakable. And now, the very places that laughed at you will be the same ones that witness your glow up. The ones that doubted you will have no choice but to watch the divine favor that now surrounds you like fire. There's about to be a revealing, not just of you, but of truth. Someone will come forward with a word, with an admission, with a release of what's been held back. A mystery is coming into the light. A conversation that once happened behind closed doors will now echo with revelation. The truth is going to surface in unexpected ways. This will not be something you need to orchestrate. This will be something that flows naturally from divine justice. You do not need revenge. You need alignment. And now, alignment is finding you. You don't have to knock. The door is opening on its own. There is also a shift in the atmosphere around your calling. You may start to feel unusual favor. Unexpected open doors. Strange timing that works in your favor. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. The universe is bending to accommodate what was always yours. This is the kind of favor that interrupts routines. This is the kind of shift that removes excuses. What you were unsure about last month is now becoming undeniable. You are moving with momentum. You are walking in prophecy. You are standing in the very space the angels paused to witness. And now, they are speaking again. This time, in your defense. This time, in your promotion. The silence was never abandonment. It was a womb. The divine holding space. A time of holy gestation. And now, the birth of your spiritual identity is complete. You are emerging with clarity, with fire, with focus. You will no longer second-guess your power. You will no longer apologize for your presence. You will no longer dim your light for fragile egos. You are done explaining yourself. The angels saw it first, and now the world will see it too. You are about to enter a new rhythm. A new flow. A new dimension. Old things have passed away. New things have been declared. And this declaration is sealed in the heavens. You are no longer just moving forward. You are moving with force. With insight. With divine assurance. No more confusion. No more cycles. No more spiritual amnesia. You remember now. And that memory is your portal to power. This is the final test before your elevation. Do not sabotage the shift by revisiting what was meant to stay in the past. The blessing is ahead. The favor is waiting. And the new doors will not require your begging, just your boldness. Move with confidence. Move with authority. Move with the knowing that when heaven paused, it wasn't to stop you. It was to prepare the room for your arrival. Type "I receive my transformation" in the comments if you know this is your moment. Blessing code 1111 is now opening your next level. If this message resonates with you and you feel moved to support, consider giving a super thanks with contributions of up to $20. Your kindness helps us bring more powerful, spirit-led content your way. Your support is deeply appreciated. The angels stopped speaking when your name was mentioned, not to deny your access, but to deliver your assignment. That silence was sacred. That pause was prophetic. And now, the Spirit is not asking you to sit in awe any longer. Heaven is calling you to respond. This moment is not symbolic. It is not poetic. It is prophetic. You've come to a divine crossroads. A place where recognition becomes response. Where revelation becomes responsibility. Where what was whispered in heaven is now waiting to be confirmed on earth. This message did not come to you to entertain your curiosity. It came to ignite your spirit. You have heard the voice of the Spirit speaking through every word, through every shift in your heart, through every silent nod from your soul. You felt it. This message was yours before I even said it. That is not coincidence. That is convergence. And now, your participation is required. I, Archangel Michael, declare with heavenly urgency, this is the hour to rise into action. Not just any action. Not frantic doing. Not striving for validation. But sacred agreement. Alignment. Activation. This is the moment to speak what heaven has already spoken over you. When the angels stopped speaking, they passed the scroll to you. Now you must speak. Now you must declare. Now you must agree with what has already been seen in the realm of light. That agreement is not optional. Agreement is not emotional. It is spiritual law. Heaven cannot force you to become who you are. You must step into it willingly. Your voice is the key that turns the lock. Your agreement is the signature on your spiritual contract. Your declaration is the ignition of your breakthrough. You must respond. You must open your mouth. You must type the words. You must move with intention. Do not think this is about visibility. It's about vibration. When you respond in faith, you send a signal back to the realm that sent this message. You create a loop, a divine feedback circuit. And in that circuit, heaven knows you are ready. There is no delay left in your timeline. The moment your name was mentioned, time began collapsing. The next level was already preparing for your arrival. You must walk into it fully, intentionally, loudly in the spirit. You don't need to scream out loud, but your energy must be fierce. Your yes must be deep. Your alignment must be sacred. And your actions must follow your declarations. You are no longer the version of yourself who hesitated, who shrank, who doubted. That version expired the moment the angels paused to watch your future unfold. Let that silence be your validation. Let their pause be your permission. Let this message be your trumpet blast. You are being called now to step out of hiding. You are being pulled into a position of impact. You are being placed where your voice will matter, where your presence will penetrate, where your influence will ripple across spaces that once rejected you. But it starts here. It starts with action. Not in a week, not in a few days, but now. Within the next 12 hours, do something in agreement with this message. Write the post. Pray the prayer. Plan the launch. Call the mentor. Break the soul tie. Sow the seed. Burn the journal. Begin the book. Speak the name. Start the business. Release the resentment. Say yes to the thing that scares you. Because what you do in this window will prophesy your readiness. This message was never meant to just inspire you. It was designed to activate you. And activation requires movement. Even if it's small. Even if it's scary. Even if no one else sees it. Because heaven sees it. And the moment you move in agreement, angels begin moving again on your behalf. The silence lifts. The doors unlock. The scrolls turn. The blessings surge. The favor flows. All of it, waiting on your word. So now I ask you, will you respond? Will you agree? Will you speak what heaven has already said? Will you step into what you were never supposed to know until now? Will you act on what your spirit already remembers? The invitation is open. The scroll is waiting. The angels are watching. And your name is still ringing in the realm of divine release. Type ISAYYES to heaven in the comments to confirm your agreement. Blessing code 1010 is now unlocking your alignment. The angels stopped speaking when your name was mentioned, not because your presence caused disruption, but because your destiny caused divine awe. And now, heaven has finished observing. The silence has broken. Your transformation is witnessed. Your agreement is sealed. And your affirmation must now echo the truth that has always been written over your life. You are not a victim. You are the revelation. I, Archangel Michael, speak now as a divine witness to what has been completed in the unseen. The moment you received this message, the atmosphere around your name shifted again. You were never supposed to know this early. You were never supposed to unlock this deep. What you did, and because you did, because you said yes, because you typed the words, because you agreed with heaven, because you acted on what your soul already remembered. A divine current has begun flowing around your timeline. It is quiet, it is steady, it is sacred, and it is irreversible. Let me affirm you now with authority that comes from the throne of light. You are not broken. You are rebuilt. You are not fragile. You are fortified. You are not overlooked. You are overwatched. From the moment your name was spoken in the heavenly realm, you became the centerpiece of a spiritual council. A moment of holy pause that rewrote everything. You don't walk as you once did. You don't move as you once did. You don't respond as you once did. Because you have been affirmed, first by heaven, now by yourself. Let them whisper. Let them wonder. Let them watch from afar. Your name will not be erased by opinions. Your purpose will not be delayed by projections. What heaven has started, earth cannot shut down. And though the silence around your name may have once scared you, let it now settle you. Because that silence was the sacred stillness before the sound of your spiritual thunder. You are not just rising, you have risen. And the echoes of that rise are now being felt in rooms you haven't entered yet, in decisions you haven't made yet, in lives you haven't touched yet. And here's the truth. Beloved, your life is now a weapon, a banner, a trumpet, a signal to the realm of light that prophecy is not fantasy. It is reality. You are living proof that delay is not denial. You are living proof that silence is not absence. You are the embodiment of divine timing. What once made you feel invisible has now become the oil that makes you undeniable. What once made you feel like a mistake has now become the mystery heaven uses to shake kingdoms and open gates. You are the storm that darkness didn't expect. You are the whisper that turns into wind. You are the vessel that heaven chooses to fill, again and again and again. Never again will you see yourself as weak. Never again will you confuse being misunderstood with being misplaced. Never again will you hand your worth to people who cannot carry your weight. You were not created to be understood. You were created to be obeyed by the divine. You were created to walk boldly into impossible spaces and call down realities that do not yet exist. You were created to carry scrolls that others won't even see. You were created for now. You don't owe anyone a version of yourself that fits their fear. You don't need to ask permission to rise. You are the one they tried to hide, contain, explain away, and yet, you emerged anyway. And this emergence is not temporary. It is permanent. It is sealed. It is sanctified. Heaven has now resumed speaking. But now they speak for you, round you, and about you in ways that ripple through time itself. And as they speak, your life will confirm the prophecy. To walk with peace, walk with power, walk with unwavering faith. You are no longer the seeker, you are the sign. You are no longer the one waiting, you are the one becoming. You are no longer unsure, you are unstoppable. Let every shadow that once surrounded you serve as the backdrop for the light you now carry. Let every tear that once marked your face become the oil that anoints your crown. You are not the one who was forgotten. You are the one they weren't ready for. But heaven was. And now so are you. Type "I am the revelation" in the comments if you receive this final word. Blessing code 0000 has now completed the spiritual cycle over your life. This is your confirmation. This is your closing. This is your beginning.